Good evening. You're listening to a weekly installment of Everything Sucks, the show where I just talk about whatever the hell I want to feel like because I really don't have an audience, so at this point it doesn't matter. So, yesterday, Labor Day, it was also my friend's birthday, and he texted me that morning inviting me to go see Oppenheimer with another friend of his, and look, I don't go to the movies that often. The last time I went to the movies was this past winter. I went and saw A Man Called Otto. And I went to the movies once the year before that. I think since COVID, really, I've only gone on average about once a year because it's just so expensive. And with all the streaming services out there, pretty much any movie you want to see is available on at least one of them. So, you can just kind of get a password from a friend if it's not on your account, kind of split up who has what streaming services, or just, do a free trial, watch what you want to watch, cancel it, then switch services. You get it. But I thought, Oppenheimer would be cool to see, directed by Christopher Nolan. I've always really loved his work. I mean, I saw The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, in that order, unfortunately. I know Batman Begins was first, but I saw The Dark Knight first, but anyway, I also saw Inception, The Prestige, all really good movies. So, Oppenheimer, originally, I wasn't going to go because I saw it was 3 hours long, and I know the movies is expensive, but then I saw it was directed by Christopher Nolan, and he's pretty much the only director whose movies I will go see, even though his movies are never funny. Pretty much every other director I like, they'll at least mix in some humor. I mean, even Tarantino and Scorsese, I love their work, and they don't do comedies per se, but their dialogue can be funny. Christopher Nolan, I don't think I laughed once when watching The Dark Knight, but it was such a great movie. He's just like, it's all intense, all serious. But anyway, Oppenheimer, I guess what also makes it special was it was shot on 70mm film, and I thought nothing of it. So, we make these plans, and mind you, I agree to meet them there, and the parking is a shit show. Okay, this show is called Everything Sucks, so I feel like me ranting about the whole story leading up to it is befitting for the title. But anyway, mind you, this is Labor Day, it's at the mall, but the kids are out of school. And for some freaking reason, I don't know if it's kids and teenagers that still like going to the mall, or if it's just parents that think that's a good way to spend a day together. Never mind the fact there are lakes in the area they could go to. No, let's just go to the mall, take our kids shopping, and buy them more things that they don't need, and let them enjoy that. But anyway, this movie theater was hooked up to the mall, and yes, it was an IMAX showing. It was a 70mm showing, but I'm waiting for my friends to get there, and mind you, they're running late, just assuming that there's going to be previews right at 2:30, which is the show's start time. I later went onto the website and found out there were no previews for this special showing, but anyway, it was show was in 70mm, so finally I'm thinking, okay, he's running late. I'm at least going to go up to the I'm going to stop standing here outside the box office. I'm going to walk up there and see about getting my ticket. And I looked it up, and mind you, at a kiosk, you could try to lie about your age, but even if I pretended to be a kid, the ticket still would have been cheap. And mind you, this is a matinee. Matinees are usually cheaper than evening showings. $25 to see Oppenheimer. So I'm like, I know it's my friend's birthday, but Jesus, I could get 3 drinks or 4 drinks or 3 drinks and a snack and a tip for that price at a happy hour somewhere. I'm thinking in terms of time. I could go to a water park and spend that much money and be there all day as opposed to 3 hours. I couldn't believe it was $25. I mean, the movies were expensive even when I was a kid, but we just sneak in the snacks in our coat pockets to make it worthwhile. But a movie ticket would still be $10 or less. Nowadays, last time, I saw A Man Called Otto last winter, and it might have been a $12 ticket for a 6 p.m. showing. But anyway, this was $25 for a matinee on a Monday. Now, it was in IMAX and it was in 70 millimeter, and according to Google, most other movie tickets are only half that cost. But I couldn't justify it. And it just makes me think, going to the movies has just gotten more expensive. I mean, it was even expensive when we were a kid, but there's this really large piece of the pie. Yet, the executives in Hollywood aren't even willing to pay their writers more money. And, the content's getting worse because the consumer's still willing to go see it. Oppenheimer, I feel like, was a really good movie. And I wish I could have seen it. But another movie that grossed big time this summer was the Barbie movie. And it's supposedly a feminist movie. Yet, I always thought Barbie was about as anti-woman as it got. The most fake, plastic female empowerment you could ever see. Because Barbie's always been skinny. The one thing that Barbie got right about feminism was Barbie could go have any job she wanted to. Barbie's got all sorts of jobs. But she always looks the same. She has this artificial figure that's just not realistic for most women to maintain. They might have had, I could say obtain, but they might have had a skinny figure as kids and then grew out of it as they grew. So I'm saying maintain, and I'm saying what I said. Because, maintain, I guess implies that you've always had it and you just keep it up, and obtain is keeping it? I don't know. Maybe they mean the same thing. I don't know. But either way, it's supposed to be this anthem. I even saw TikToks about women breaking up with their boyfriends because they didn't like the Barbie movie. But mind you, Barbie just contributes to the unrealistic beauty standards set for women, and that even carries over to the expectation that men are wired to expect, and myself included. And so I don't know, it's just funny that people crown Barbie this feminist movie. I mean, I guess Barbie went into our world and was shocked to see that I guess men had more power than they did in her world, or which also meant women had less power than they did in her world. But in her world, all the women look the same. There's no body diversity in Barbie. And I don't even consider myself, an activist for the body positivity movement or anything. But, to me, if a movie's gonna have a feminist message, shouldn't that be for women of all sizes? I don't know. But that's Hollywood these days. So, all these movies that are coming out aren't even as good as they used to be. Disney Plus, no one's liking that. Apparently they've gone woke, which, I believe it, but I haven't seen it, so I don't feel like I can do commentary on it. But it's not, and when I say go woke, I don't just mean social justice values. It's just the characters kind of, it's the same story arcs. Let's have female Hulk. Let's take every superhero story where the hero used to be male, and now we're just going to switch it up for the sake of switching it up, but not really add any character depth to it, rather than come up with an original idea. Why not create movies about original female superheroes? Rather than do remakes where you just change the sex and or skin color of the protagonist to make yourself seem, woke with the times, whatever you call it. Why don't you stop being lazy and develop a whole new character and then write that character for whatever race you feel like isn't being represented enough? People talk about the importance of representation in media. How about representation with some originality? Don't take characters from the past and ruin their legacy or change it to make you feel better so you can pat yourself on the back. But anyway, like, I didn't even mean to go on all that. I just want to say, like, $25 for a matinee. Crazy. And I wasn't even willing to see that for the Christopher Nolan movie, Oppenheimer. And it was a shot in IMAX on 70 millimeter. But, like, that's what I make in an hour. Like, so imagine being a dad, supporting a family of 4 or 5, taking your wife and your kids to see a movie. And if you did, unless you have, you know, a wife who also makes as much money as you do, you're shelling out all this money. Like, this is really, like, this is why men need feminism. Like, we need, if we're gonna ever have a family, we gotta have a female partner, if we're straight. A female partner who can bring in the money just like we can. So we can afford to, you know, enjoy stuff with our families. My God, like, I mean, a family of 4, if you want popcorn, you're looking at $125 just to go to the movies. Like, that used to get you a night or two stay at a hotel somewhere. Like, everything's just so expensive. It's like everywhere you go, you're obligated to spend money. And too much of it. I don't know. Like, but I couldn't justify going to it. I gotta save money for a vacation I'm going on in 2 weeks, and, like, but to me, though, like, I work full-time. To me, anybody who contributes to society, works a full-time job, should not only have enough money for their basic necessities, they should be able to afford to enjoy life on their days off. Like, now, granted, I believe anyone, regardless of how much they do, deserves to get access to, you know, healthcare and not die and whatnot. But I'm talking about those of us who go out and work. We deserve a little more than the people that do nothing. But, like, I just couldn't believe how expensive it was. And I felt bad. I had to leave, and I just went and I sat at home while my friend went and saw Oppenheimer. It was his birthday, but it didn't even occur to him when he invited me to see the movie to tell me how much it cost, because I guess it just, the price didn't mean much to him. But, I don't know. And meanwhile, this is all going on, and there's like a writer's strike out in Hollywood. It seems to me like Hollywood's making plenty of money. So if they want their content to keep being good, they should pay their writers. And if they're not going to, we should stop overpaying to see these crappy movies. Mind you, I think Oppenheimer probably would have been good. I'm not convinced anything else in theaters would be. But about to run out of time in this 15-minute segment. And when I come back, I'm going to go to Reddit and give my thoughts on some posts. Hopefully some of them won't be fake. I'm starting to think that a lot of these message board posts are just fake, like, bait accounts just to get clicks. But, I don't know. It'd be fun to give some advice anyway. And, yeah, saving money, staying at home. Because it's 2023 and everything's too damn expensive. Can't afford to do anything else. So, stick around. I'll be back in a couple minutes.